to another edition of Dashawns2cents. We're live in the studio again. And look who I have, B-Boy in the house.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good, man. Good, man.
We've known each other for how long now? A year?
About a year.
Yeah, about a year now.
Yeah.
And he picked everything out for this nice, lovely set here.
I absolutely did. I'm going to go why I did it. First, my buddy Drake Younger support the Mr. PMA.
Oh, yeah.
Dojo Bros. So those are, I love those guys. I actually just started chilling with Niece. Niece is like crazy good too. Then we got all the, what do we got up here? We got video games. We got movies. We got Michael Elgin up there. We got Scott Law's Second Shift comic. And of course, one of my favorite movies of all time, The Godfather. I'm excited.
So if you have Indiana Jones up there, and
yes.
what are your favorites of each one? What's your favorite movie of each one?
I would go, when it comes down to the diehards, I would go with the first one.
Okay.
I like Bad Boys 2 better than Bad Boys 1 because everybody who knows me know that I always say shit just got real, and that's where I got it from, was that movie.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones, probably The Temple of Doom. The Dark Knight with Joker is my favorite, like another one of my favorite movies. And everybody who knows me is I'm also an avid video gamer. And the very first Xbox 360 game that I ever got was Gears of War. So I'm a big Gears of War guy. And it got Splinter Cell and all that other stuff. So
Yeah, I got that when my first Xbox was bundle.
yeah, I got the bundle. Yeah,
so yes, we can go. This is a shoot interview. First ever shoot interview and first ever for B-Boy.
Yep, I always keep quiet and I think it's time to talk now.
Time talk. How long has it been? How long have you been within the business?
In October, it's coming up on 15 years.
That's crazy.
It's nuts.
Let's go with the usual.
Yes.
So what was the first match you ever saw?
First match I ever saw, I was a Navy brat, and my mom was always into wrestling. She's the one that got me into it, so we were living in Key West, Florida. And I think I was about like 2 or 3, and the very first match was a live event, and I saw Dick Murdoch versus Dusty Rhodes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the very first match I saw. And then from then on, I just started watching when I was young and everything like that.
So how did you get into training? What led you into training?
Well, when I was growing up, I was a bad kid, and I was always hung out with the wrong crowd and everything like that. And I was always the different one out of the group. I always got like a lot of laughs because I was the one that watched wrestling.
Yeah.
And but what got me into it was I was always a fan, and when I saw Steamboat and Savage at WrestleMania 3, that is the one that put me over the edge, where I was just like, dude, I like, it's a dream that I have to try at least once. And then just been fortunate, been doing it so long. So
what school do you train from?
There was a place in San Diego called California Championship Wrestling, CCW. It was actually owned by Charles Gibbs. And he was passing out flyers at an event because me and my buddy went to I think it was like a WCW event. And this guy just comes up with like a pedophile mustache and passing out flyers and
Sure wasn't Joey Ryan's dad?
Oh wow, bro. Jesus. But he was passing out flyers, right? And I called it up like a week later, and then the rest was history. And then from there, like I trained there for like about, I think it was about like 9 months, almost a year, and then I finally got in the ring in October of '98.
Okay. So how long until your first match? Your first match in front of an audience?
I think it was about 9 months.
So where was your first match at?
It was at CCW's training school called the Palace of Pain over in Vista, California. Yeah. And I worked a guy named the Spanish Fly, who was one of the Dynamics. Do you know who the Dynamics are? The twins, the little twins.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was under a hood, and I worked him, and that was my first match ever.
Okay. So where did you go from there, man?
Oh, here's a funny story. After that first match, it was I think 2 months later, it was my third match, and it was Frankie Kazarian's first match in Southern California. And me and him worked in my third match, and then it was his first match in California. So it's funny. So we both kind of had like we were both there at the same time. But like after CCW, like I'm really good friends with Samoa Joe, and Joe told me about UPW, and UPW, like I went there and started going to training there too, because like I always felt that, like, you know, you can always get better and get more training and stuff. So I would drive up 2 hours. I think it was like every Wednesday. I used to do their light shows all the times, and learned. honed my craft over there, I would say, because over there I was taught by Tom Howard. I had classes with Kevin Quinn, Chris Daniels. I mean, it was, that's why I really learned, was over there.
So you started UPW, you were a tag team. You went to a tag team first before that?
No, I was actually at UPW. They started me off in the lightweight division, and I was I was going by B-boy, and I was I think I was like one of the longest reigning lightweight champs. I think it was like a year and a half I held the title, and then they wanted to go in a different direction and everything like that. So me, Spanky, and Frankie Kazarian did like a three-way. I finally dropped the title and everything like that. They didn't know what to do with me, and there was another Filipino wrestler there at that time named Funky Billy Kim.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were like me, Joe, and I think it was Rocky Romero were staying at Joe's house one time, and I was like, I think me and Tommy could be, or FBK, Funky Billy Kim, I think we could be a tag team. There's never really been like a Filipino tag team.
Yeah.
So so we came up with the Manila Thrillers. Tommy was on board, and then I think it was actually Joe that came up with the name Blazing Benny Chong, and it just stuck from there. So it was Funky Billy Kim, Blazing Benny Chong, Manila Thrillers, and then that's when it formed the tag team in UPW.
So what promotion gave you like your first break, like in your first few years?
The first break.
Yeah.
I've worked for a lot of promotions, man, and every time that I work for a promotion, they always give me something different. So I can't really say a first break. There are two promotions that definitely did help me, especially expand to the East Coast and actually start making a living off of wrestling. Was Combat Zone, CZW, along with IWA Mid-South with Ian Ryan. Those were the two that really kind of helped me get my name out there, and it got me bookings, and got me on shows, because people would be watching videotapes back in the day. They weren't watching DVDs. So, but yeah, I mean those were two that actually helped me out.
How'd you get into Best of the Best 02?
Funny story. It was I made a highlight. I think I made a highlight. What do you call them? Films or whatever like that. And I put like 3 matches on there.
Okay.
And I sent it out to what's his name? Gargiulo, Eric Gargiulo, who was a big fixture in CCW with John Zanuck before. And I gave it to Gargiulo. Gargiulo liked what he saw from me and Dragon on the tape. I gave it to Zanuck, who was the owner at the time, and Zanuck didn't know if he wanted to book me with this. So I think in all of 2001, I was very persistent, calling John almost every week to 2 weeks to be like, oh, I really want to come out there and everything like that. And then finally he gave in, and he gave me the opportunity. And then in the tournament, that's when that's how I got in. I was just really persistent.
So after Best of the Best, what did you do in CCW? Did you stay there? Did you have matches or what?
Oh, at CCW, I was there for 8 years.
Okay.
I was always at the.
I meant the rest of the year. After Best of the Best, what happened?
Oh, after Best of the Best, yeah. Okay, so
I went to the semis in Best of the Best, and first round it was me, Nick Burke, and the Super Dragon. Second round was me and Dragon. Third round was Trent Acid and myself. And after my third match with Trent Acid, the fans really, for some reason, they really liked me, and they were chanting, "Please come back," and all this stuff, and then it was very humbling and everything. And then after, I think it was like a month or two after that, John says, "You know what, the fans love you, we got to bring you back." And then they brought me back for Cage of Death during the same year. And then from then on, from 2003 all the way to 2010, I was almost on every single show.
And you were part of Best of the Best 3, where you won the trophy.
Yeah, I was in Best of the Best 3. That's when I won the trophy. I went 4 rounds, and definitely one of my biggest highlights was winning that tournament with there was a lot of talent that was in there. I mean, a lot of people don't understand that the talent that you see on TV, or the big talent that you see on the indies now, a lot of them started off at CCW, or that's where they gave them the break.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or IWA, you know what I mean? Guys like Saban and Shelley, and fucking even guys like Elgin and even Roddy. Well, before even Ring of Honor, I think Roddy went to CCW for a couple things. I mean, a lot of people don't understand that, Philly was where everybody wanted to be because it like the workers knew that if you worked in Philly, you were going to get noticed. You know what I mean? So.
Well, yeah, you travel the road now. How is it weird now seeing all these guys become big and successful?
I have nothing but like I'm glad, I'm happy. I mean, more than anything, I'm proud of a lot of these guys, man. Because I remember guys like Elgin and especially Adam Cole and stuff like that, even Drake. These guys I've known for years, and here's a funny story. I was actually really instrumental with Adam Cole's early success because I was the one that got him booked on his first Dragon Gate USA against Kyle O'Reilly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was the one that told Gabe, I said, Gabe, there's a guy out here, he's a student. I think he was only like a year in the business then. I said he's good and everything, and I kept on pushing him, and he had a hell of a match, and that kind of like catapulted him. And so I was like, I couldn't be, like, I'm proud of all these guys, man, especially Drake. I mean, I've known Drake for a long time. He's a really good and a really dear friend of mine. I'm just, it just makes me happy, you know what I mean? Because like they remind me of myself when I was like hungry and I wanted to work and I wanted to get out there. I wanted to make money. I wanted to steal the show. I wanted to do this and everything like that. And they're doing it. You know what I mean?
And I was trying to point out the guys at TNA. You looked at TNA. A lot of the guys were your friends.
Exactly, guys like Frankie Kazarian. Me and Frankie been up and down the road. Me, Frankie, and TJ. We've gone on numerous road, on the road and stuff. Me and Joe were kind of raised in the business together, along with the Cuban, what's his name, Reyes and Romero.
Ricky Reyes.
Yeah.
Pitbulls. How Van Pitbulls?
I was friends with those guys. Friends with AJ. I was like a lot of mainstream guys that you see on TV now. A lot of people don't understand that. Like I go way back.
How were those road trips back when you were starting out, traveling?
You
would pack up and...
Yeah,
just how my experience is, like going to a show, who would be in the car when you go to like a show that's like 4 hours away? You know
what's funny is that I like driving by myself, but I mean I don't mind driving with other people. I like driving by myself because that's like my alone time, you know what I mean? And it makes me think and all that stuff. But like there was usually, I mean, we would pack up, go. Like I said, because I live in San Diego, which is like 2.5 hours from here.
Yeah.
So I would meet up with the guys here, and then we would go from there. You know, so I was on trips for like 6-8 hours, and everything like that. And then it's fun because you get to be around the boys, but it's tough if you're doing that constantly every week, man. I mean, traveling bust your ass, man. Like that's the thing mentally that kind of tired me out. It wasn't really the physical aspect. It was more of just like. Just traveling on the road, it sucks sometimes, man. It really does.
Yeah. Before you hit the East Coast, you were in SoCal. How long wrestling? Like
before
you hit Philly and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Where you got big in Philly and moved out there.
Let me see. I did Best of the Best in 2002. I started in late '98. So about 4 years I was, about 4 years I was in SoCal working all the time. I was doing maybe 10 to 11 shows a month. Because that's how many times people used to run.
What promotions stand out for you? What promotions really used you and you had the good memories there and the good shows?
You know what? There's a lot of promotions that used me. I mean, AWS used me back in the day. EWF used me. CCW. I mean, the list goes on and on from old school and stuff like that. UPW, UIWA, MPW. I mean, I was at UPW for a long time too. So I mean, they all had an interest in me, and I was, like I said, I was always fortunate that they liked me.
How'd you get started in AWS? How'd you meet Bart?
Fuck, I don't even remember.
It's been so long since you met.
I think it was actually Junior, Lil Cholo.
Lil Cholo.
I think he's the one that actually introduced me to Bart and said, or he wanted me to work there, and then that's when I met Bart. And I think that was in 2001, 2002. I could be around there. Yeah, that's how I met him.
So you talking about Lil Cholo? How has he influenced your career and the friendship you guys have had?
You know what's funny is that me and Cholo go back a very, very long time, and then every time I talk to him, we always catch up. It's just because Cholo's married now, has a kid, and he's a big family man, works his ass off.
and he wrestles when he can now, you know,
Yeah.
because he has priorities. And the friendship we have is always going to be there. I mean, he always says that he looks up to me, but like, I mean, in the same respect, I look up to Cholo because both of us basically were different from everybody else. You know what I mean? Like we had the shorts, we had the shirt. Everybody else was in the wrestling attire. You know what I mean? And and the fans liked us just as much as they liked, you know, the athletic ones. You know.
Yeah, from the high flyers like Daniels and Kazarian, you guys stood out, and your style kind of stood out.
I just think I think what it came down to is that I think like the crowd and the fans just really like, they really like the difference between wrestlers. They don't want to see the same stuff every time. You know what I mean? Like for instance, you could be athletic as hell and you could hit all these flips, but I mean, if there's no substance and no, you know what I mean? If there's no substance with it, it really doesn't. Like the crowd would be like, oh wow, oh well, that's impressive, wow.
Yeah.
If they add more into it, but like more substance or something like that, they're gonna get behind you. You know what I mean? That's the way I see things. I don't know. That's just my train of thought, though.
Yeah, you worked the first year of Wrestling Guerrilla in 03.
Yeah.
10-year anniversary was last Friday. Worked for there. So how was the first year?
First year, I'll be the first one to tell you. I was very. This was the first time that I actually heard of the boys, the workers, actually starting a promotion.
Yeah.
And I was very cautious about it at first. You know what I mean? I was very cautious, and I was like, I don't know, because I think all you guys are gonna do is just put each other over and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and stuff like that. But like, I mean, I was good friends with all of them, and I wanted to work it, and I worked it, and man, it's fucking changed so much to where it's like a business now. You know what I mean? Those 6 that started it, like. I'll be the first one to tell you, I was a non-believer in the first year, but I mean, like, man, they've gone leaps and bounds. I mean, that's something I think like no other promotion that started with workers being the bookers, the owners, and stuff like that. Nobody has done that, I don't think. You know what I mean? And it's I'm just happy to be back, man, because I love Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. It has the best fans. I mean, I love that fucking Reseda building, and I love fucking Larry.
Yeah.
So, I'm just happy to be back, man.
So, Silver Dragon, how was your history of Silver Dragon stuff? The history you guys had, tagging champions and feuding.
Yeah, well, before Pro Wrestling Guerrilla started, it was Revolution Pro, and I think that's what Dragon trained under Ron Rivera, and Revolution Pro was. Had something different going on. They were doing a lot of Japanese type style matches that a lot of promotions weren't having.
Yeah.
I studied, you know, pro wrestling, like Japanese wrestling. I studied it, so I always wanted to do it, but I didn't know who could do it.
Yeah.
So I heard about Revolution Pro, and then Ron Rivera hit me up, asked me if I wanted to work one time, and I did. And it kind of started from there. They kind of go from there, and then it kind of like transferred to me and Dragon. I guess like a lot of people called me the Dragon Killer because the Dragon was like the top guy out here in SoCal. Yeah. And then I guess people saw me as a guy that could go with him. You know what I mean? For some odd reason. And then it started in Revolution Pro. It was a feud that lasted, I would say like 7 years. Like legit, on and off 7 years. It was a feud that just kept going. And I think we were actually one of the first feuds to actually go from like, on an indie level, we wrestled all up and down the West Coast. Then went to the Midwest and wrestled. Then went to the East Coast and wrestled against each other. So I mean, it was like a real, it was like Dragon and myself knew that we had something like special that was going on. You know what I mean? But like Dragon, I've never had a problem with Dragon. I think Dragon was always, I thought he was always good. Like he used to hit people like really hard and did, and still does to this day. But I mean, I'm the same way. But I mean, like he in his prime, he was legit. Probably he's the top 3 indie guys out. You know what I mean? I'm actually kind of happy that he kind of stepped back to concentrate on Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and to step back, because I know he was always getting a lot of concussions. His knees are shot. I mean, like he had to make a decision. I think he made the right decision, you know. But other than that, I have nothing. I have nothing but respect for Dragon, and I know deep down inside he respects me, and it's always been a good. I think it's always been a good working relationship between us.
What 3 matches of the 7 years stand out to you?
One is MPW.
MPW.
Yeah, and that was in 2002, I believe. I could be 2001. We won like match of the year in Southern California or something like that. But that was a huge one because Dragon always beat me, and then MPW gave me a chance to go up and just to see what would happen, you know. But it wasn't even about who was up or anything like that. It was just that the crowd was crazy. Like that crowd for that match was just as split and as crazy as a PWG crowd. And this is in 2001. You know what I'm saying? This was unheard of. And but like it was a real career defining moment, I think, for Dragon and myself because of that match. Like a lot of people that have the tape were shilling them out everywhere. Everywhere in the U.S. Everybody was buying it. Everybody wanted, hey, you got that match, and everybody. That's how me and Dragon got actually